Hi, this is Trevor, and welcome back once again to our weekly tarot card video. Today is Valentine's Day. It's Saturday, February the 14th, and very cold here in Winnipeg, so I hope everyone is finding some warmth today and wishing everyone a happy Valentine's Day. A little bit of news that I'm continuing to mention. For the remainder of February, I am still doing my private readings at Elemental Book and Curiosity Shop here in Winnipeg. But March 1st, I am moving to my own private office location at 161 Stafford. That's at the corner of Stafford and Grosvenor. And I hope many of my friends and patrons will visit me there. And you can check out all that information on my website at trevorsense.com. As well, with this new chapter, I have the freedom to be doing some special events. And next Sunday, the 22nd, there is a traders market at a wonderful little social club that opened up here in Winnipeg called the Goodwill Social Club. And they're having a traders market. So I'm going to be doing some short psychic fair style readings at that event, and stop by. It should be a lot of fun. There's some great local merchants that are going to be having things for sale, and it's a fun place. Anyway, all that information, like I said, is at trevorsense.com. Enough of the news. Let's get into our card of the week. And I'm shuffling the cards, and I always like to cut them. And we have Page of Pentacles. What a delightful little card. Pages, traditionally in the cards, would indicate children or young people. And also, just like a page running around in a castle, or here in Canada, we have pages in the House of Parliament. They're delivering messages. So a page can be that sense of new discovery. But you'll hear me mention again and again, I see the court cards not just as people, but also kind of like modes or gears that we are operating in. And a court card can cover more than one person. It can kind of be an indication of a collective consciousness. I think of a cousin of mine who was a teacher, and every year we'd say to her, what kind of kids do you have? And she'd say, oh, this year I have good kids, or this year I have challenging kids. And she's talking about that collective consciousness. So pages are people that are not necessarily younger, but they're people that are, in a way, kind of coming towards us where there is that sense of discovery. Maybe we are in a position of responsibility towards them, like a teacher to their students, or a business to its client base, or a doctor to its patients. At the same time, a page can be an indication of our own sense of childlike discovery. So sometimes when it's time to be a page, we are kind of approaching something with a fresh new perspective. We have our experience, but we're willing to be learning something new and seeing that exchange. So pages, in terms of indicating that kind of energy as we look at it in the different suits, are rather interesting. I had a little bit of experience working as a teaching assistant for a little while, and I had the privilege of learning a lot about different learner styles. Some kids are kinesthetic learners. They need to move around a whole lot. Some are kind of more emotionally based. Some like to have a debate, and some are self-directed learners. And I immediately, when I started working with that, saw an association to the four elements in the tarot. And the Page of Pentacles is, in particular, a really delightful kind of quirky energy. You know, pentacles are earthy, so there's that sense of being resourceful, of kind of looking at things, just like how the pentacle has many sides. So I often find that people who have that kind of pentacles energy, they're not just looking at things as right, wrong, black, white, but seeing how things can work in different ways. There was a wonderful animated film called Spirited Away, if you've ever had a chance to catch it. And in that story, there's a little girl who is actually in a kind of wonderland of working with elemental energies. And one of the creatures in the story appears to be a bad guy and gets into a lot of trouble. And at one point in the journey, she is heading out and she says, I better take him with me. And the other characters say, well, why? He's so difficult. And she says, you know, I think he's just been in the wrong place. What wisdom. And I think with pentacles, we're oftentimes kind of getting that sense of where do things need to go in order to grow and thrive. So a Page of Pentacles is that sort of self-directed learner, that kind of exploring inventive nature. I think of my little nieces and nephews. They're not little anymore. But in some of them, there was that sense of showing them a concept, but then letting them come up with their own answers and their own solutions. Very, very inventive. A famous person that I think of in terms of that Pentacles energy, somebody who I always admired, was Jim Henson, the creator of the Muppets. And he didn't set out to be a puppeteer. He was an artist. And he was working with some other artists who were partnering with educators. And they needed to come up with a concept for what they were doing in television. And here's this guy who takes some green felt and 2 ping pong balls and makes a little frog. And the rest is history. What an inventive, quirky mind. And, you know, throughout his journey, he had people give him some pretty strong suggestions like, go to Hollywood. And he said, no, I want to work in public television. And they said, well, you're never going to make $1 million that way. And he said, that's not why I'm doing it. There's that sense of self-direction, that sense of purpose. And I think that that can be a very beautiful aspect that we see in the Page of Pentacles. So if you come home and your kids cut up your green felt coat, maybe something important is going to grow from that. There's that inventive energy that can be present and that we can learn something from. So I think this is a delightful card to have for Valentine's Day. And wishing everyone warmth and wellness, and we'll look forward to seeing you perhaps around my new location, and we'll see you again next week here on this YouTube channel. Take care. Bye for now.